Rock Planning Commission. First, if you'd call the roll, please.
Chairman Latour,
Here.
Vice Chair Stebbins, Commissioner Berry, Commissioner Brock,
Here.
Commissioner Bynum,
Here.
Commissioner Hamilton, Commissioner Haynes,
Here.
Commissioner Rahman,
Here.
Commissioner Thomas, and Commissioner Vogel.
Here.
You have a quorum with one open position.
Thank you. We have a quorum. You've been supplied the minutes. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll move that the minutes be approved.
Is there a second? All those in favor of approving the minutes, please raise your right hand. Thank you. Would you take us through the consent agenda, please?
Mr. Chairman, so far you have cards only on item D. Is that correct? Okay. Following is a consent agenda for the Little Rock Planning Commission, Planning Rezoning Conditional Use Hearing, August 1st, 2019. You have two items on consent withdrawal. Item E, file number Z9418, Sunset Terrace Long Form PRD located at 2800 Battery Street. Staff met with the City Attorney's Office, and it's been determined that the Little Rock Housing Authority is to be treated as a quasi-political subdivision of the state of Arkansas. Therefore, no zoning action is needed, and staff recommends this application be withdrawn. Item number 1, Z9433, Jackson Daycare Family Home Special Use Permit, 2409 Johnson Street. On July 12th, the applicant submitted a letter to staff requesting this application be withdrawn. Staff supports that request. You have one item on consent deferral. Item B, Z9423, Second and Louisiana Commercial Parking Lot Conditional Use Permit, 200 South Louisiana Street. On July 25th, the applicant submitted a letter to staff requesting this application be deferred to the September 12th, 2019 agenda. Staff supports that request. Next are the items on consent approval. Item A, Z8827A, Escarcega Church, revised CUP 6523 Hinkson Road. Staff recommends approval of the requested revised CUP, including parking variance, subject to compliance with the following conditions. Compliance with the comments and conditions outlined in sections 4, 5, and 6 of the agenda staff report. All site lighting must be low level and directed away from adjacent property. Signage for the church facility will be as per section 36553 of the code, and that is signs permitted in office zones. And the lease agreement for the Little Rock School District parking lot on the north side of Hinkson Road must be maintained as long as the church occupies this property. If the lease agreement ever expires, the parking issue must be brought back to the Planning Commission for further review. Item C as 1312B, lots 1R and 2R, Barrow Plaza Addition, preliminary plat, 9101 West Markham Street. Staff recommends approval of the proposed plat and variances subject to compliance with the comments and conditions outlined in paragraphs D, E, and F of the staff analysis in the agenda staff report. The deferral of right-of-way dedication for West Markham Street was previously approved by the Board of Directors. Item number 2, Z3206B, a rezoning from C2 to C3, north side of Canis Road, approximately 800 feet west of South Shackleford Road. Staff recommends approval of the requested C3 rezoning. Item number 3, LU 192001, a land use plan amendment in the Pinnacle Planning District from RL Residential Low Density to RH Residential High Density, located at 6500 The Divide Parkway. Staff believes the change is appropriate. Item number 3.1, Z9434, a rezoning from R2 to MF18, northwest end of the Divide Parkway. Staff recommends approval of the requested MF18 rezoning. Item number 4, LU 191101, a land use plan amendment in the I-430 Planning District from O Office to C Commercial, located at the southwest corner of Canis Road and Centerview Drive. Staff believes the change is appropriate. Item 4.1, Z9435, a rezoning from O3 to C3, southwest corner of Canis Road and Centerview Drive. Staff recommends approval of the requested C3 rezoning. Item number 5, Z2333B, Ellis Duplex and Accessory Dwelling, revised conditional use permit, 900 West 15th Street. Staff recommends approval of the requested revised CUP and setback variance, subject to compliance with the comments and conditions outlined in sections 5 and 6 of the agenda staff report. Item number 6, Z9153A, Health's accessory dwelling, conditional use permit, 19430 Lawson Road. Staff recommends approval of the requested CUP subject to compliance with the following conditions. Compliance with the comments and conditions outlined in Section 6 of the agenda staff report, and compliance with the citing criteria found in Section 36254D5 of the code. Item number 7, Z9347A, Rawling Road School Conditional Use Permit, west side of Rawling Road, south of Charleston Heights. And Mr. Carney will give the recommendation on this item.
Good afternoon. You forgive me, this will take a minute to read through this. This was a complicated issue, and staff and the applicants have been working throughout the review period and up until just a few days ago to complete our review of the issue. Staff has completed their review of the traffic study for the school, and we've continued to work through the issues with the applicant. The school will utilize staggered start and dismissal times as follow. Grades K through 4 at 7:45 and 3 o'clock respectively, grades 5 through 8 at 8 a.m. and 3:15 respectively, and grades 9 through 12 at 8:15 a.m. and 3:30 respectively. As a condition of approval, the school agrees that if left turns associated with the school onto Breon from northbound Rawling Road regularly cause the queue of vehicles waiting to turn left onto Breon to exceed the length of the left turn lane on Rawling and to obstruct the inside northbound lane on Rawling, the school will adjust the arrival schedule to eliminate the obstruction of the interior northbound lane on Rawling. The north driveway on the school campus has been revised to show it as a right turn in, right turn out only driveway. The traffic signal will be constructed at the intersection of Breon and Rawling. School flashers will be installed on Rawling Road, and the pedestrian crossing at Breon will be realigned to match the new stop bar. Breon will not be dedicated as a public street. In response to the proposed revisions and agreements, staff is supportive of the proposed conditional use permit for the school. We recommend approval of the conditional use permit subject to compliance with the following conditions. The first being compliance with the comments and conditions outlined in paragraphs D, E, and F, and the staff analysis in the agenda staff report. Compliance with the following additional conditions proposed by Public Works in response to their review of the traffic study. First being, Breon should be striped with a center two-way left turn lane to the available width to accommodate 3 lanes. The school agrees to have their traffic engineer present at the site on the opening day of school and subsequent days as long as necessary to monitor the school traffic and to identify any traffic problems or issues during times of school pickup and drop-off. If school traffic starts queuing regularly in the northbound left turn lane on Rawling Road, blocking northbound through movements, immediate corrective measures such as increasing the stagger durations further as needed should be taken to adequately address those problems or issues. It will be the responsibility of the school to ensure traffic circulation plans are enforced using the school's personnel and resources, and any traffic problems must be addressed and resolved by the consulting engineer in a timely manner. Staff recommends approval of the land alteration variance to allow 2-to-1 slopes, with the exposed earthen slopes being protected with love grass or an approved geomatting prior to issuance of the final certificate of occupancy. The applicant has proposed for some earthen cuts to be terraced or retaining walls installed, and there's been no specific treatment proposed. The terraces and retaining walls must be constructed in conformance with City of Little Rock codes and policies. A geotechnical analysis should be conducted and followed with a report prepared by a licensed engineer determining whether terraces or retaining walls are the best geotechnical treatment for the project based on existing soil conditions. And staff again recommends approval and placement on the consent agenda for approval.
Following with the items on consent approval, item number 8, file number Z9436, Broadway Multi-Sectional Manufactured Home Conditional Use Permit, 4209 Trust Street. Staff recommends approval of the requested CUP subject to compliance with the following conditions. compliance with the comments and conditions outlined in sections 4, 5, and 6 and the staff analysis in the agenda staff report, and compliance with the siting criteria for manufactured homes outlined in section 36.255 of the code. Item number 9, Z9437, Melvin Accessory Dwelling Conditional Use Permit, 601 East 16th Street. Staff recommends approval of the CUP to allow accessory dwellings subject to compliance with the comments and conditions outlined in sections 4, 5, and 6 and the staff analysis in the agenda staff report. Staff also recommends approval of the reduced street side yard setback of 10.3 feet. Item number 10, A335, Alukim Annexation, west of Arch Street Pike, near the Dixon Road intersection, 10500 Arch Street. Staff recommends approval. In 10.1, Z9432, Alukim Planned Industrial District located at 10500 Arch Street Pike. Staff recommends approval of the PID subject to compliance with the comments and conditions outlined in paragraphs D, E, and F, and the staff analysis in the agenda staff report. That concludes the consent agenda.
Thank you. You've heard the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve?
I move that we approve the consent agenda with all staff comments and conditions.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Been moved and say we approve the consent agenda. All in favor, raise your right hand. No opposition. The consent agenda is approved. If your item is on the consent agenda, you're more than welcome to stay, but you're equally welcome to go. And we'll give you a minute because I know how you want to go. Okay, question for staff. Do we ask the deferral question before we go into the, is now the time for the deferral question? Mr. Bennett, under our rules, if there are 8 or fewer, which there are 8 commissioners present, the applicant has the option of deferring until the next meeting. What's your pleasure?
I would like to defer.
You want to defer? So be it.
Be September 12th?
September 12th?
12th?
Okay. We'll see you September 12th.
We do need action on a deferral.
Okay. Motion approving the deferral request.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the deferral of the item into the September 12th commission meeting.
Is there a second? Moved and seconded to approve the deferral request to September 2nd. If you're in favor, raise your hand.
Well,
If you're opposed, you're deferred till September 12th. Ms. Danielson had a question that now becomes moot until September 12th. But my suggestion is you get with Mr. Carney. Raise your hand. Just ask him your question after, and that'll. Well, you would ask him. He's the guy who can answer your question. Is there anything else to come before the commission? There will be an informal meeting of the commission August 15th. Will be a tour of Ward 6 and John Barrow area, and we'll depart about 3 o'clock, 3:15 from the planning office. If there's no other business to come before us, we are adjourned.